You're listening to a portion of our conversation from episode 267, featuring the Jurassic Wire with myself, Brad Jost, and co-host Aaron Beyer. If you want to hear the full conversation, download the episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, or wherever else you listen to podcasts. Today, we're going to discuss some of our thoughts and feelings on Camp Cretaceous Season 2 and the upcoming Season 3. There's still a lot to break down there, so stick around to hear our thoughts. As always, be sure to let us know what you think, and of course, we hope you enjoy it. I want to get your thoughts on Camp Cretaceous Season 2. I feel like it's been like a year since Season 2 came out, but it was literally like 2 months ago. It was just not that long ago, but it feels like it's been so long. And I did all my commentary. I've talked about it a bunch of times on our YouTube live streams. And I don't feel we have not talked about it at all. Like we usually save Jurassic topics for recordings. And so I'm interested to hear what you thought, because I think, I'll start off with like a quick summary of my thoughts, just so you can kind of get a vibe.
Sure.
But like,
and
I saw it
for me.
the first time I saw it, we were sent screeners ahead of time, so I got to watch it a bit before everybody, and I felt it weird after that first viewing. I wasn't sure what I thought, and I think I had issues with certain things, pacing and stuff like that. And then I watched it again, and I was like, okay, I actually feel a lot better about what I just saw. I'm still a little stuck on the hunters themselves. Mm-hmm. I love the idea of the hunters and some moments with them, but those people in general really bug me. But and a lot of the pacing things I actually really enjoyed the second time around. I think there's a lot more in this season that is over the top. At times it feels more playful. But I think I did really enjoy it. But I'm interested to see like what happens next. So what are your thoughts on Season 2? Because it was mostly just like a story about the kids still, surviving, still going on months later, and then obviously these hunters coming in. So what were your thoughts on all that?
I told you this before. I don't want to crap on this show, because I know that there's animators that work on it that work really hard, and they listen to the podcast. How can I say this? It's the thing that makes me happy that soft canon exists, or what does Trevorrow call it? He calls it soft
That's
canon,
what he
right?
says. That's what he says. I can't go a session without soft canon being discussed.
Here's why. I don't mean that as an insult. I don't really like this as canonical. I like this as just a fun play around with my favorite license kind of show, which I don't think is what anybody in the fandom wanted. Does that make sense? Like, everyone wants the Clone Wars, the Rebels, where it's canonical, and I don't see how this can be canonical, because I think there is just some bat crazy stuff that happens in the series.
Sure.
Like things that I think defy nature and physics and the laws of survival.
The explosions with like dinosaurs flying and like people riding dinosaurs and trucks flying through the air and like stuff like that, or
fighting Toro with like a stick. And riding an ankylosaur.
I'm down with the ankylosaur riding. I think that's fine. I actually don't mind the fight per se. I don't really care for that episode all that much, and I think that sequence could have been done differently. But fighting off the dinosaur, I'm kind of okay with. I don't know. I'm still on the fence on that.
The real problem is that it is a kids show. Like, fine, I get it, which means that the kids are never in any actual danger. They're just not. These kids. I mean, my nephew, who's 5, is not going to know that, but I don't know. I'm almost 40. I'm just too old to be watching the Camp Cretaceous. I am not the guy. No, I think it's fine. Like, as I told you, I watched it once. I'll probably never watch it again. And I just, when the Season 3 trailer popped, I just didn't even really I was like, okay, like, cool. Like, when it's ready, let me know, and I'll watch it and formulate some opinions. But I thought it was kind of, the hunters were cool. The guy's voice. I know that
Bradley
actor.
Whitford.
Yeah, his voice is too iconic.
Is that how you say his name?
Yeah, his voice is too iconic.
From King of the Monsters, right? He's in that movie, I believe.
Oh yeah, maybe. I know him from Studio 60 on the Sunset Strip, and that's an Aaron Sorkin show. So I've heard his voice a lot.
Isn't Billy Madison? Is that the same guy or no?
He's Billy Madison.
Right?
Yep. Yeah. His voice is just way too iconic for that. So like I couldn't not hear him, you know.
I didn't realize, to be honest, right away. I didn't know until I saw it afterwards in the credits or whatever. So, I watched my whole first through without even knowing.
Okay.
But yeah, the whole, like the way that their voice was presented, like the whole like, okay, babe, back and forth thing, like it threw me off a little bit. I wasn't really into that whole thing. But at times, dude, like Mitch, which was his name, he was kind of creepy. And like I feel like honestly, some of the darkest stuff in Jurassic happened in some of those episodes with this show.
Creepy, the darkest, in like it's a kid's show.
No. I mean, in terms of darkest like content for Jurassic, and like when Darius goes into that tent or that yurt and like sneaks in there and he finds like a cut off head from a Sinoceratops, and you get this guy that's like, he's like maniacal in a way. He's like creepy, and he's like, "Hey, Darius, we're best friends." Like it was like very creepy and just like off-putting in that way. And I think they did a good job with that, like showcasing that this is actually dark content, like dinosaurs getting killed and sacrificed here for some sort of greater good that he thinks is happening. But it was weird. It was dark, but the rest of the season felt very, fun and light. But like, I feel like those were some dark moments in the show.
I really felt they were borrowing from the Roland Tembo stuff. That at some point there was some either toy description or they mentioned it in one of the deleted scenes in the Spielberg cut of The Lost World. They talk about like
which airs on TNT all the
time. It's not canonical, but they talk. Someone talks about him being a big game hunter, and big game hunters have like the heads of the animals on like their walls, right? It's that very like stereotypical like Looney Tunes kind of thing where like you go into the mansion and there's like the heads on the walls with the plaques. Yeah. And it was like, oh, he was going to get the T-Rex head. That's like, that was going to be his big prize for his haul.
I don't even think that was
dead animals.
No, he didn't want to even kill it though.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Yes, he did.
No way. There was no way he would not have been allowed to kill it.
Yes,
he had to get it for the show, for the stadium. No. What am I missing?
Okay, you're missing The Lost World. The
whole movie.
Yeah. I'm happy to be a part of this thing. I'm happy to lead this thing when I'm not around. Dieter is. The only thing I want is the right to hunt the Tyrannosaurs buck only. He wants it. He's going to get the other T-Rex for the show. It's not until he goes to shoot. I think he goes to shoot the male T-Rex, right? And Nick Van Owen had taken his bullets, so he can't kill it.
Sure.
So he can only trank it. And because he tranked it, Peter Ludlow's like, well, we got something. And now everyone is going to line up and appreciate it and see it. Roland Tembo is going to kill the male T-Rex.
I'll give you that. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. He did have those bullets. And maybe they were going to get a different Rex for that occasion. But
and there was two.
I've never really felt like he was that guy. But yeah, I guess I don't know.
He's a big game hunter. He totally is that guy.
But these people are that guy, but way creepier. Like he's doing it for like his own thing, but like they're doing it for some weird reason to preserve and like honor these things in a weird way. I don't know. I was very turned off by them as characters. So
what they were so like the preserving them, right, is like when you go to the Los Angeles Museum natural history, and they've got the stuffed, like they were live at one point, but they're stuffed.
Yeah.
That's how they're preserving it, so that when they go extinct, people can still come to the museum. I think
it was just a weird way to look at this whole thing. I don't know. I would have rather, like, somebody like Hap, that other guy, the third guy that comes in with their group, and like if it was just like a few of him kind of guys like him, like that showed up, I would have been like, okay, that feels better. But like these two, like with their like tucked in shirts, I feel like, and they're just like,
the unsuspecting. Oh my gosh, I blocked that out of my mind.
It was very strange, but it was dark. Like a lot of it was dark, like the whole like shooting the baryonyx Grim, like they just shot it straight in the face. That dinosaur just dead instantly. That was brutal. Like, I mean, like stuff like that doesn't happen in Jurassic really all that much, so it was pretty brutal.
They're Harley Quinn. They're bad guys. That's what bad guys do. Like they shoot dinosaurs.
True.
You can't have dinosaurs eat kids. So like, I'm honestly surprised they're allowed to even use guns with bullets, to be quite honest with you. Like, I feel like that's been completely stripped out of. I mean, the only other cartoon I can think of with guns with bullets is like the 90s. So like Batman, the animated series. It's got to be a Netflix thing, because like there's no way that like NBC would allow bullet guns to be on a kid's cartoon. There's no way.
I wonder if that happens ever in that Fast and Furious show, if there's any shooting going on in that show, because the movies do. It's certainly the movies Fast and Furious do. Yeah. So that's interesting.
Do I care?
I never really looked at it like that. That there's that's weird that they have that going on.
Yeah, it's totally weird.
I know a lot of people are concerned about the whole E750 thing, with another hybrid being thrown into the mix. In between Indominus and Indoraptor. It seems a little weird. Like, what is this thing that we never knew about? It's another one of those. It's another one of those instances where they're like, oh, there's another thing we didn't tell you about that you thought never existed before, and here it is. Yeah. So I can only take so much of those things. So, and they've been doing it a lot, I feel like, between Jurassic World and now. So it's interesting. I don't know, but I hope that they can solve this E750 creature in a good way. And we'll talk more about that, I think.
Well, you say that
in the ending, but I don't know. There's got to be a way to resolve the creature that makes sense for this universe.
Well, it's funny you say like I can only take so much of. They're just like divulging new information, because that's how I've been feeling this entire time with Miss Ronnie Global and DPG. It's like, come on, man. Like, which is why I'm happy that those guys have kind of like all just kind of like, they're like future forward now. Like they're thinking more of like future stuff and present content. Because it's like, how many times can you tie a loose end or fill in a gap or like, again, like reveal something that is totally off the wall? And
well, I honestly, I like gaps being filled. It's just like when you fill a gap with a hybrid creature that like that, this is a big gap to fill. Like, this is a big thing to add into a gap. It's not just saying like, oh, a dinosaur died and that's the end of it. Like it's like, oh my God, we had another creature that we never knew about. Like, it's weird. It's weird to me. So I'll be interested to see how they wrap this creature up, because I would assume they have to wrap it up some way. Like, there has to be a beginning and an end to this thing.
Well, this whole thing has to be nice and clean for when Owen and Claire show back up on the island, right? Everything. This entire series has to just kind of just tie it with a bow, and that's it. Yeah,
and honestly, my eye's been bugging out too this whole time. The fact that these kids are on the island as well, and there's never been any saving, of them at all for weeks or months, like, because I talked with the executive producer, full spoilers about season 2 and stuff, and we were like, talking about the timeline, and he says, the first episode is like a day or two later after season 1 or after Jurassic World falls, and then the rest of the show takes place like months later.
Yeah, like, they've basically like built a tree for it, and like
It's essentially Eric Kirby. You know, he was on the island for 8 weeks, and they've been there 6 to 8 weeks or something like that. So like 2 months later or whatever, they're still there, and nobody's come back. It's weird. And now we're butting up against the whole introduction to Fallen Kingdom, which was like 6 months later, and then obviously the rest of the movie 3 years or whatever. So so yeah, I don't know. It's gonna be weird, and at this point I'm just gonna have to watch because it's like literally like in a month or two. So we'll find out soon. But I do want to get. You have anything else you want to wrap up for your season 2 thoughts or anything like that?
No, I mean I'm sounding harsher than I am. I mean it's not. I sat and watched it over the course of like in one sitting. It wasn't like I disliked it to the point where I like struggled to get through it over the course of like a month. You know what I'm saying? Like I sat down and watched it, but I left and I kind of have the same. I don't want to say I have the same feelings, but it's like it's in the same ballpark as like the live tour. The live tour is a little different because I know that I don't have access to that. Like, even if it were running, I don't have access to that like 24/7, right? Like, so the live tour is kind of something I accept as a one then done kind of thing, right? Like, I got my story and I'll have to enjoy it again through people's home videos, or man, it would be great if it was a Fathom event at some point, like something to help them recoup some costs. Like that's a bummer.
Yeah. Well, I have been seeing Feld Entertainment has been posting like job descriptions and things like that for other, events and other things. So why not Jurassic? If these things are getting posted, if they're starting these things up again at some point, like I think Disney on Ice was one of the things that they decided that they're going to start up again. And if you can start up Disney on Ice, there's no reason you can't start Jurassic. Not on Ice,
dude. Disney's really pushing. Disney's really pushing to get back to work.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like Universal, at least park wise, has been operating fine, for a while, and now obviously California is starting to get their parks and things opened. So I don't know about film wise. Obviously Universal has been a big, let's do this, let's get it done. During the pandemic. They've been the biggest, I think, production out there yet. So
they haven't shown anything. That's what's crazy. It's that they've been the ones like, hey, got to keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward, keep pushing forward, sit and wait. Where Disney's like plowing through it, releasing content. We're just looking at like, kind of looking at the timeline of like Raya coming out and these Marvel shows. Like I was kind of waiting to see Raya in 3D somehow. I don't know if that's even going to be possible, because I'm thinking like, well, they might have been working on the 3D for that when the pandemic hit, and why would they have kept their 3D artists if they weren't going to release it in the? I don't know. I don't know if that's even going to be available in 3D, because like for me,
I don't know.
The most beautiful 3D you can have is rendered CG 3D. Like it's gorgeous. I popped in Moana Tangled the other day, and like it's absolutely stunning in 3D. But yeah, so
I'm sure. I did see Raya at the drive-in the other day. Pretty great movie. I liked it a lot. It was a lot of fun. No 3D. It's just regular D. I don't know.
2D.
But regular 2D. It was a good movie. I liked it. And I could see 3D being fun for that one. Yeah, I could. But yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't get back with the live tour, but that's besides the Camp Cretaceous point that we were discussing.
Yeah,
actually, not exactly, because I do want to bring up the whole E750 thing, and I don't even really know if it ties into that per se, because I think we've got a decent idea as to what that thing is. But maybe this show is a reason why Colin Trevorrow has said like that show's soft canon, or maybe it is the fact that like it is a show that'll disappear, kind of like you're saying, like if you can't see it, you can't see it, then it's it's not canon, I guess.
Why have it be canonical?
Or
right?
or the fact that the show could change from night to night. Canonically speaking, I've seen a stegosaur and a triceratops, I think, in like the same role, like it's switched out. So like,
Sure.
what's the canon here? I don't know. So there's a few reasons, but I would love it to be, or no, I don't even know if I can't say I would love it to be, because I want that show to always be canon, the live tour. But maybe there's something within this season 3 or something that like could dispel or could relate to similar circumstances. That's my hope for the whole soft canon term, is like could put like kind of put it to rest, is if there is something in this show that makes that show soft canon. You know what I mean? Like makes the live tour soft canon. That would make me a lot more like relaxed about the whole, Colin going out there and saying that show's soft canon.
What would make it soft canon?
Well,
you think the E750 or whatever it is? Like, is that what you're kind of referencing? Which we're talking about later. Yeah.
Well, no, I don't even know if it relates to that per se, but before we had a decent idea as to what this thing is, a lot of people would suspect a Troodon or something like that, which made me start thinking along the lines of like the Troodon program in the live tour, the whole like behavioral like kind of thing that they were studying. It was different than the raptors. So I was like thinking maybe they'll introduce something like that at some point. Maybe they go into a facility and uncover something that kind of talks about that, but in a different way than they presented it in the live tour. So that's the only way I could see them like saying that's why the live tour is not canon or something like that. And now actually, I don't know if that relates at all, but we're starting to see like, I'll talk about that at another point, but never mind.
I think they want soft canon because I think they want soft canon simply for the same reason that Warner Brothers has now adopted that their movies are not, the DC extended universe is not really a thing. It's because the creators in 20 years don't want to be limited to a line of dialogue from Camp Cretaceous season 5, episode 7. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't be held accountable for that.
It's such a weird like environment that we're in, because you have like you're saying, like some people are saying, let's not be restricted by that line of dialogue. But then you have Marvel and Star Wars who are like going, they're embracing hard, it, they're doing it all, and they will, and I say they will stick by it, but like a lot of stuff in like actually the whole like Cobb Vanth thing in episode 1 of Mandalorian season 2, his backstory was completely different than the book that introduced the character. So
is that book canon?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So they're doing it wrong too. So you can't follow anybody anymore, I guess. That's why I've since the what did you just say to me?
Star Wars kind of sucks. I've been watching. I watched Red Letter Media stuff on Star Wars Episode 9. I was just like, oh my god, it's even worse than I thought. Sorry, buddy.
Hey man, I don't even know what that is.
Red Letter Media.
I like. Nope, no clue.
Oh my gosh, we have to do a special feature where you watch the Red Letter Media prequel trilogy commentary. Holy crap.
No, I don't want to do that. I don't like watching YouTube content related to any movies. And that's just saying, guys, don't watch this, because this is probably on YouTube. Anyway. All right. So season 3, moving our way into season 3. So sure. You have not seen the trailer for season 3. Is this correct? Am I correct?
I don't think so.
Or have you seen it? Or have you seen it and you've completely forgot?
Hold on. I think I've seen it and completely forgot. I think that's the real answer. So let's do it. It's still a live react, dude. My memory is trash. So like, let's go through this. I'm gonna watch it on the screen that you're providing.
Okay, I don't know. I think the audio is here, but I can't be completely sure about that. Hold on a second. Let me remove this real quick and make sure we can get that audio in there.
I feel like I saw the Stegosaurus at the beginning of it, and maybe I was just like, I'll save this for later, and then promptly forgot about it.
All right, I saw nothing about sharing audio. So all right, so here's the season 3 teaser trailer, and let me know
No audio, but that's okay.
No audio? Okay.
We got a Stegosaurus. That's cool. We got Universal. We got the DreamWorks logo where they completely missed the opportunity to have that kid ripped off the moon by a raptor. Okay. We've got a Jurassic Park 3 tube. We've got Brooklyn looking pretty raggedy. Right? Brooklyn? Is that her name?
Yeah. Her hair is like all messed up.
Yeah.
Like this. Ooh, that's so fast, man.
Is that the trailer?
Fast. That's it. It's a teaser. It's a teaser trailer,
oh,
right? So,
okay.
So
What?
the big thing is obviously like the canister is broken open, whatever this is. It's small. Like that looks small to you, right? Like it doesn't look like there's something huge in there.
Yeah, why is it by itself in an office building? Like, is this like Woo's office? Why is this thing alone?
Well, I mean, we know where it is. It's down in those tunnels, you know, that they were in both seasons so far.
Okay.
And it's weird. I don't know. This is a weird room. I don't know what's going on here because there's this filing cabinet thing here.
Yeah, like that.
But then there's something behind. Is there like a chalkboard behind, or is that a door? Is this barricaded? I don't really know what's going on here. You know, like with this whole room, it's just weird. You're right. Why is this here? And are you under the belief that this is like cryogenically frozen, or is it like? I don't even know what that means, to be honest. You know, I know the term and I know what's going on. You freeze something, but like, this seems like there's water involved in this. So is it a frozen water chamber?
It has to be frozen, right? Because I do remember that from season 2 was the air conditioning vents.
Yeah, they thawed it. You could hear thawing, which made me believe like there's water in there though. So I don't really know like how that all works, and I'm no scientist, so I have no clue what that means. But it just makes me wonder why. Why is there something under some sort of freezing conditions in here? What sense does that make at all? Can you dive into that? Do you have any idea why something would be frozen?
Why are you asking me? I don't like the mutant dinosaurs. I liked it for the one. I like the Indominus Rex because it was a cool plot point for one movie. I'm done with them. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a Doctor Who Christmas special where they cryogenically freeze a woman every year for like 100 years, and she's not in water. Like when she steps into it, it just like puff of smoke and she freezes kind of thing.
Yeah.
So like there doesn't have to be water in this because there's no water on the floor from what I can tell.
Well, actually, the tease, like the poster actually, I believe has water on the ground, but the poster is a little bit different than what you see here. Like the canister thing is all beat up and broken, and this is not. It's just the glass is cracked. So it could be a little bit different than what we're seeing here. But yeah, I have no idea what that means for whatever this creature is. Like, why would you put something on ice, no matter how it's frozen? Water, air, whatever. Why would something be on ice? Like, I don't understand why that would make any sense, unless you're just keeping it for studying it at a later point. Like, is he busy that day or something? I don't know. Like, I have no idea.
See, what's so in the timeline's weird too, because the Indoraptor is easy. It was however many years after Jurassic World, and Wu developed the Indoraptor, and he only could develop one, and he needed Blue to like quickly get it to the stage it needed to be, or like round 2, right?
Yeah.
But with this thing was born, or well, I guess we don't know when the Indominus Rex was born because we don't know how fast it aged. But if you use Bumpy by any stretch of the imagination, the Indominus Rex went from egg to that size in a couple of days, which like the show is problematic, man. The show is problematic.
Well, okay, all right. So Bumpy is like not full adult, right? By the end of season 2, it's more of like a juvenile, but like almost near adult size or whatever. I guess pretty much.
The Indominus Rex was the same way. They were like, this thing's going to get bigger.
Yeah. So what I was saying, yeah, it's true. So like Bumpy was a baby, and then like 6 days later or so, Bumpy is, this size, like a smaller size, but half human size or whatever. And then 2 months later, so it's a full 2 months before Bumpy is adult-ish size. So that maybe that can give you an idea as far as the Indominus, I guess.
We don't when he's doing when they do the gag where he keeps making the hut and Bumpy keeps stealing it. I forget, is Bumpy, what size is Bumpy there?
Small, like not baby, smaller? But smaller, like medium size, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't like the rapid aging stuff. Like, even prior to Jurassic World, when you just even look at Jurassic Park, right? And they have a full-grown T-Rex.
Yeah.
And you look at the logistics, I want to say, on something like DPG or Mizrahi Global or whatever like that, right? I feel like they had to age the T-Rex super fast because of a website like Mizrahi Global exists. Like, in the canon of the movie itself, it doesn't matter. The T-Rex could have been born 6 years prior to that. It doesn't really matter in context of the film because there's no stagnant date in that movie. Right?
Yeah.
It's only the only reason you have to introduce rapid aging is because you have things like websites and other canonical sources kind of needing that to be the case so that they can create new monsters every movie, and I don't like that. As we start introducing these really crazy sci-fi things, it takes away the thing from Jurassic World, which I love, which is a zoo. They're not pumping these animals full of crazy aging serum at the zoos. Baby animals sell. Baby animals sell tickets.
Yeah, that's an interesting point for the park, though. Yeah, would they have some? Is this hey, I want Boba Fett to not age rapidly. I want him to age at a normal pace, or dude. So can they choose? They should be able to choose. I mean,
Trevorrow has already Trevorrow confirmed via Twitter, but really even in Dominion, no, not Dominion. What was the last one? Fallen Kingdom. We see that the animals. We see that the animals are having live birth, and he was like, oh yeah, Jurassic World's. They're not all made at this point. Jurassic World has a breeding program, like zoos, modern day zoos have. So it wasn't like they were all these eggs being produced over on Sorna or whatever, or in a lab. They had a breeding program for, I would imagine, for some of their older species. But I mean, who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. It's all pretty interesting though. I've never thought of it that way.
It's interesting.
Well, it just makes it all very convoluted and annoying, to be honest.
It's really crazy.
But interesting in the way of from a theme park perspective, if you are rapidly growing these things to put on display, you're right. Why would you? Because you would just have it on display for 6 days and then it's a big dinosaur, or do they not? I don't know.
Well, this thing was frozen at the time of the Indominus Rex attack, so this thing was created at the same time or before the Indominus Rex, and then
you're right. So that does
frozen, so the Indominus Rex isn't the first hybrid that Jurassic World created, so this is potentially more dangerous than the Indominus Rex, but they were super afraid of the Indominus Rex. Man, it's just so too much on this. They really have to branch out.
Yeah.
I can't wait for Dominion to branch out so that we can get extended stories hopefully later, because right now we're confined to this small timeline in a very small location, and I can't wait for that to kind of not be the case.
Yeah, man, that is so convoluted. You're right. The whole what age is what at this point.
It diminishes this to me now. I wasn't even thinking this before. This diminishes the Indominus Rex, does it not? The accomplishment of the Indominus Rex.
Absolutely, yeah, absolutely. The Indominus Rex, there was 2, right? So this one, the Indominus that we see, killed its sibling, right?
Yep.
And and then we'll say 2 months, 3 months later, this thing is adult size and it's in that captivity. And we could give or take, but like, I don't know, what stage is this thing that we see? What stage is this? I don't know. Oh, I mean, based off of that pipe, that thing that it was in the container, it is small. It is relatively small. Like, what is that? 8 foot, 9 foot ceiling. And that container is like, what, 5 feet tall in the middle or something like that at the most, 4 to 5 feet or something.
Yeah.
So it seems like it's a small creature. So it doesn't really give us any idea as to like its age or anything, whether it is full grown or mid-sized. Even the Indoraptor was certainly way bigger than this, whatever this container is.
Yeah, because the Indoraptor could like stand up, and I felt like
it was creepily tall, like it was big.
It was like, yeah, and I feel like in her bedroom, did you get the feeling that her bedroom was not like the standard ceilings, that she had like vaulted ceilings in that bedroom?
Oh, for sure. I mean, the place is a mansion. Come on.
Yeah, right. So like it was huge. Like the Indoraptor was massive, and even like I feel like the toy in comparison to like the humans is actually not too off scale, and that's compared to the humans, that's a big toy.
Yeah, and most of the time that thing was like galloping around, like like a horse or something. So on all fours, not really. It doesn't seem like it's not like a T-Rex that would run, on twos anyway. I don't think, even if it had the room, or a raptor. I don't think it would. Do you think it would have? I don't know.
Like if it needed to run,
if it was out in the open, would it run on twos? I don't think so. Like just 2 legs. I don't know why we're talking about that, but it's an interesting question.
What's the fastest? Well, I mean, here I think it's cheetah. What's
cheetah speed? Right? It's like 60 miles an hour or something like that, right?
Google, what is the fastest land animal? Okay, the Sahara cheetah is a quadruped. So 4 legs obviously then equals 4 legs are better than 2. Is that
because the Velociraptor's cheetah speed and that thing's 2.
Jurassic Park, a fake movie about fake dinosaurs.
So why do we have this? Why do we have this show? Why do we have this podcast? This is all fake. Who cares?
I'm trying to use real world logic to explain that 4 legs are. I mean, my science degree, right? 4 legs are obviously better than 2.
Cryogenically frozen 4 legs. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, everything I've seen of the Indoraptor, I've never seen an Indoraptor on 2 legs with its arms like out. It's always hunched over or like hanging them down like at its belt or whatever. Its waist.
Has one of those, Batman tool belts with all kinds of cool, like different like claws and stuff that it can clip in. Big ones, small ones. Depends on how fast it wants to go.
Indoraptor I've seen, he's on all 4s. She's on all 4s.
Yeah. Well, why are we talking about that? I don't know. But yeah. Anyway. The Indoraptor's tall. So whatever this thing is seems smaller, right? It seems smaller. So at what stage of life is it? I have no clue. But, knowing that they wanted to make things smaller, I don't know. I mean, could this creature be...
No.
What?
Does this diminish the specialty of not only the Indominus Rex but also the Indoraptor? Is this better than the Indoraptor for getting into small caves, eating them belt buckle and all? Like, is that what this is?
I think it could be. Who knows? It could be, but I wonder if it was like a failed experiment. Before was it an attempt? Because we talked about that with like Maisie and stuff like that. Like,
why would you freeze a failed experiment?
I don't know. I have no clue. I don't know why you freeze anything. I don't have an answer for freezing.
My theory on Maisie, her being like version 12.
Yeah. But the Indominus, certainly the Indominus Rex wasn't version 1. I don't think. I don't know. Could there have been other experiments, that they just kill off or something like that? I don't know.
When you look at the computer in the background, it was like they didn't even know what the Indominus was going to look like when it hatched. They had like theories, right? On the computer.
Know. on the computers at some point, I mean, you see all kinds of wild stuff. You see like something that looks like a dragon or something. You see like you see the Stegoceratops. You see like a few different things. So, talking about hybrids and is the Indominus the first one and stuff like that. I mean, I guess you would think based off of what you know from the movie, but there should have been plans. You'd think there were plans in place for the Stegoceratops to appear and for whatever else dragon looking things that they were making. Like, I don't know.
Yeah. And you hit the nail on the head. Dragons. These aren't dinosaurs anymore. They're dragon movies. Like, to me, at this point, they're like no different than like Godzilla, which is not a dinosaur.
I like those.
Yeah, I know, but like, he's not a dinosaur.
I just watched Godzilla Raids again, the second one, from like 55, and he faced off against an Ankylosaurus, and the Ankylosaurus was like the same size as Godzilla, and the logic that they were like, well, these things are from the same time period, so the Ankylosaurus was like 200 feet tall. I was like, wait, what? What's happening here? Talk about logic. I have another point to the whole live tour thing is the live tour really played on this whole like the genie, the Troodon is a very docile creature. It's not like Blue. It is aggressive to a certain extent, but it's a very like calm creature, a helpful creature, something that like is kind of like Bumpy in a way. Like it's your friend, it's your best friend dino. So one thing that could help dispel the live tour soft canon thing is maybe this isn't the big bad that we expect, Is there a chance that it's not? Do you think that it's going to do a whole like left turn and this is going to be something happy and not happy, but like, nicer?
You're poking at the logic of if we can increase their aging speed, right? If we can choose their colors, if we can choose whether or not they have feathers, why are we still making dinosaurs with aggression genes? Like,
you're right.
T-Rex,
you're right.
T-Rex
I don't know.
is a legacy animal. T-Rex is a legacy animal, but we don't know of any other legacy animals in the park. Why do the raptors have aggression genetics? Why not remove that? That's a gene. That's a part of like what I learned from the Water Boy. That is your medulla oblongata. All right, like you just got to remove that. You just got to remove the medulla oblongata.
Yeah. So think through with me because I don't really even know, to be honest. Like what was on display at Jurassic World? What do we know was on display? Right. Because
the website doesn't exist anymore, does it?
I don't even think so. Yeah, I think it's still like, hacked or whatever by the DPG or something. That site's a mess now.
Is it?
Is there a Nublar even? Is that section even exists anymore? I don't know.
There's
let's see. So, because I wanted to kind of just
Adopt a Dino will have all the ones that were on display.
You think so?
Yeah. Okay. Adopt a dinosaur. I agree. Begin. Ankylosaurus, Apatosaurus, Baryonyx.
Okay, here's the E750 website.
Velociraptors were unfortunately not on display. Brachiosaurus, Carnotaurus, Gallimimus, Mosasaurus.
That site doesn't even work.
What site?
Huh, that's interesting. The islanublar.jurassicworld.com.
Oh.
Doesn't work anymore. Interesting.
Pteranodon, Stegosaurus, Stegimoloch, T-Rex, and Triceratops.
So, you said Baryonyx, right?
Yeah. Yep.
Is that something we thought was on like the Cretaceous cruise or something around there?
I have no idea.
Those guys are pretty aggressive, obviously, and we know that they decided to keep the Carnotaurus like in an area where they keep all the aggro dinosaurs. That Kenji relayed that information, about the Carnotaurus. So, and obviously the who the Indominus was somewhere else. The T-Rex was in its own like thing where you really couldn't interact. So I don't know, like, were they weeding out the aggro stuff or not? I don't think so, but there's a potential that they could say we were trying to weave out the aggro dinosaurs to a certain extent. And but you're right. Why would they not just figure out that gene? I don't know, but I still stick to one of my hopes is that this isn't what we think it is, and it's not the monster. That's my hope. My hope is that it's not the monster, because I would feel more comfortable about this new hybrid if it wasn't a clone of the Indominus or the Indoraptor. You know, if it wasn't just another of those guys, you know, those things. I would like it if it was more, you know, trainable, or it's more, you know, just has a different side to it than some of the other dinosaurs.
This image with the fire blood Iosauron is a nice trainable dinosaur.
That's part of my instinct here, is like everything they're telling us is that this is the scariest thing to ever exist, right? Like they're telling us. It can't
be, because it also says the show is rated PG. So,
but I that's my hope, is it's just this left turn, because everything they've said is, it seems like it's going to be scary and it's going to be bad news. You know, this image alone is scary, you know, and you're right. Iosauron, it's evoking imagery here. But I don't know. I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that there's another layer to this thing that exists. But yeah, I don't know. Any further thoughts on season 3? The trailer doesn't give us much to go off of. It's just literally just one thing.
I'm excited.
Fire
to see
breaks out.
I'm excited to see a storm on this island. I do feel like this island has been majorly clean this entire time. Like the whole island is clean, which is really, honestly, probably inexpensive to render. But
yeah.
Like, I'm excited to see a storm come to Isla Nublar, because we haven't had that in a long time, I feel like. And then
it's funny, the forest and jungle areas. It's like they had like a landscaper like maintaining the entirety of the island so that these kids could all walk around. Yeah. You know, even months later, there's still somebody out there that didn't get the memo. They're just cutting grass. You know, this whole time. It's like those guys in Roller Coaster Tycoon that I just throw out in the grass and make sure that they only cut the grass in this area, that they have no clue that people went home.
My parents have like a couple acres, and I think they only maintain like a quarter of an acre. Like, so, you know, no one's maintaining all of Isla Nublar. That's not happening. Yeah. I wish we would come to the table with this topic of what was on display at Jurassic World, because I feel like I wish we'd have like kind of thought that out, because there's actually like, I have big issues with the number in Jurassic Park 1, that there's like specific numbers they give. And then there's specific dinosaurs that you see listed. There's specific dinosaurs that there's like all these rules, right? Like if it exists on Sorna, doesn't necessarily mean it has to exist on Nublar. But if it exists on Nublar, it has to exist on Sorna, right? Because Sorna is where they're made. And then there's like,
I guess
I forget what Hammond gives the numbers on, but it's like Hammond gives you the numbers with Gennaro in the Jeep, and then you see so many species as a viewer, and then you can read certain species names on the canisters, and then like the Kodak map or something has like one extra species on it, Herrerasaurus or something. And so like when you like add all those up, there's like one dinosaur that's missing or something. It's like that. Like they're not all accounted for.
So, you know, if you do want to consider the whole DPG website and everything, there is that whole document that was found or something like that, that states how many dinosaurs are there. So there's like a active dinosaur list from 1994, October 5th, 1994, that has Brachiosaurus. There's, you know, potentially 5 as of 1994, Parasaurolophus 9, Triceratops 2, Gallimimus 9, Carnivores, Dilophosaurus 5, T-Rex 1, and then Velociraptor unknown, Compy 28. Went from 0 somehow to 28. The Velociraptor thing, which is annoying to me, because like it's a thread that just never went anywhere. the whole like these things are breeding in the wild, the velociraptors, and that there's an entire, breed of velociraptors in the wild on Nublar. And we've never done anything with that information ever. It's kind of...
Well, but here's what you have to keep in mind. Spielberg's sequel was going to be on Nublar looking for the canister. And they kill every raptor accounted for in the park.
Hey, but that didn't happen.
What are you talking about?
that whatever that movie... No, they didn't kill every one of them that was in the park. They killed the 3 that, or trapped one and killed the other 2. Those are the only 3 that they know of. But in the wild, there's certainly other raptors being bred.
The raptors being bred was because you kill... at the end of that movie, they have killed the 3 raptors that the main characters all know to exist in the park inventory. So because you see them all killed, you have to have raptors in the next movie. So that was Spielberg's way of like raptors were being born in the wild. So that when they came back to Nublar for the sequel, there was going to be raptors there.
Mm-hmm.
You don't understand? Like,
it's just annoying. It's annoying though that there's never any pickup of that like anywhere really. Like
because Crichton wrote another book about a second thing, and Spielberg abandoned his original sequel idea. Spielberg cut. Yeah. Spielberg cut.
There's Sorna information as well. They have all these other dinosaurs. But as far as I don't see anything here just yet about Jurassic World's count or anything.
I think Gray mentions it in the movie.
Well, maybe, yeah.
But like I'm telling you, I don't know what's on DPG, but in the movie, Hammond says how many species are on that island in the movie.
I don't know.
I know you don't know. I know he does. I don't know what the number is. I think it's 15. But
okay, wait. Here's some more information. Sensitive material, internal eyes only. Let's see.
But you're using the DPG as your source.
I know. Oh, those are embryos. I don't need that cloning stuff. Who cares? No, I'm trying to find like the rest of it for the other movie, but whatever. Anyway, I don't have anything else for this. Do you have anything else for Camp Cretaceous season 2 or season 3?
No, we can move. We can totally move on.
Oh, sorry.
Sorry.